live. There we go, some light. Okay, hello. Send some message. Hello, people. Forgive me, it's a little unsteady. So once again, I'm just trying out my live streaming capabilities here. And seeing how this looks. My lighting is not the best, but you know, and also I feel like this picture is a little grainy. What's up with that? I don't know. Okay, so as you're hopping on, say hello. Somebody, hello. Is it just me? Am I just talking to myself? Let's see here. So what I was trying to figure out as I was getting set up for this thing is the difference between webcam and streaming. Anyway, these are just things that I'm learning about as I continue along this path. So yeah. So I did this thing a minute ago where I had it all set up and it kicked me out because I was using, okay, this is like a LAN connection, and I went through this whole thing recently. If any of you guys were checking out the live stream I did with the wealth creation thing, oh my gosh. You know that initially I tried that and it was awful. It was a disaster because my internet sucked, and you know, living on an island, the internet can be a bit of a challenge. So I had a new internet company come and a guy hooked me up, and I had him put it, see this cable? So I'm totally connected. I can do it here, elsewhere in my house. And I had this thing hooked up a minute ago, and I thought, let me turn the fan on. I thought that it was going to make it better, and it just gave me some weird message. So anyway, sorry, I'm just figuring stuff out. So hi, how's everybody? Hello. Hang on, I don't want to blow away. 1 second. Island living is a trip. There's so much to figure out. Okay, so I will say that I did say tonight I was going to do viewer's choice. And if you guys have any particular questions or comments or things that you've been thinking about or wanted to ask me or wanted to know about life out here, I'm happy to oblige and share my experiences, my knowledge, you know, whatever I can share with you. I have a number of things I can certainly talk about. I had a couple of really interesting meetings today. And I have some like venting stuff I can do. So maybe I'll start with that. I'm just going to get that off my chest. So here's what I'm going to vent about first of all. So my son is at a private school here. And I have been really excited about the fact that he could get some really interesting, hola, La Quinto, ¿cómo estás? I was really excited about the fact that he could get what I thought was going to be a quality education and be exposed to lots of different cultures, and you know, and learn another language, and you know, or be more steeped in just all of that language, culture, different type of learning style, all those things. And so I was very excited about it. And last year he had what I think is a really good experience there. And so this is the second year there. But his teacher is awful. She's so awful. She's mean. She's mean. And, you know, I'm learning that she does things like humiliate the kids in his class. And these are like 9 and 10-year-olds mostly. And, you know, accuses them of lying or challenges them. Are you calling me a liar? And all this stuff. So I had to kind of, well, yeah, so I wrote an email to the school about it, and it was in response to something they sent me. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm doing fine here. I'm doing fine. I'm just kind of venting about some stuff that happened with my son's school and how I do not like the way some of these people operate. You know, this nasty kind of behavior about nasty way that some teachers treat children. And it's like, how are you supposed to be educating children and inspiring them and making them want to, you know, learn and be engaged in the classroom, and you're hazing them basically. So So I'm resolving that. That was kind of a part of what happened last night with me, and I was resolving it today. But I had some really good, I don't want to focus on that. I guess, yeah, I try not to live by focusing on negative stuff, but I did want to get that off my chest a little bit. So I was dealing with that, and hopefully things will be resolved quickly. But I definitely want to check in again and see about the viewer's choice thing. Let me ask you a question. I don't know if any of you guys saw the post I did. Was it today or yesterday? I don't know, but I put up a post saying, hey, viewer's choice, Wednesday night, anything you want to ask, whatever. Are you guys seeing those posts? Because sometimes I'm just not sure, like, are you seeing it? Is it coming through? Like, are you getting my messages? I'm like out here waving flags going, hey, 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 are you hearing from me? So let me know if you are, if anybody saw the post where I said tonight will be a viewer's choice night. Could you just like send me a sign somehow, let me know, like, yes, I got it or something, because I think they may come up. I wonder if I can check if it comes up on the community tab. Like, I don't know if they come directly to, like if you're signed up for email notifications or whatever, if it comes to your email, like how do you guys find out that I'm doing a live stream? Hey, yes, you got it. Okay, great, personal message. Oh, well that, yeah, so that's because I know you and I sent you, I sent you a WhatsApp message. But like, so those of you who don't know personally, did you get, wait, somebody said, yes, you got it. Okay, great. So you did get that. That's wonderful, because I don't want to just be sitting here talking to myself. I do live streams. So, okay, muy bien. Wonderful. So as I said, I was going to make tonight a viewer's choice night. I have some things I could talk about, some things that have been happening in my life. Some relate to the DR, some are just personal, whatever. But I thought before I just continue to ramble and regale you with the tales of my life, is there anything that you guys want to know about what's happening here? Because I'll tell you this, I get a lot of email. You didn't, I'm sorry, I can't WhatsApp everybody. But I do get lots of emails asking me some of the same questions over and over again. A lot of times it's questions about cost of living or schools or what else? The best places to live, things like that. And I will tell you guys, some of you may have heard this before, but I'm in the process of sort of finalizing, putting some finishing touches on a website, yay, that's coming out soon, where I'll be able to have a lot of information. Yeah, so if you press the alarm bell, okay, so if you're on your YouTube thing and you press the alarm bell, you get a notification, so you'll know when I'm doing live streams, because I post like, hey, I'm gonna be on. And I know for those of you who are in the West Coast, it's 10 o'clock here, DR time, so it's 6 o'clock out there. So we're either 3 or 4 hours ahead of the West Coast. Anyway, and I know folks in Europe are asleep, because I have some people who watch from like Germany, England, whatever. Somebody is in Slovakia right now. And she said the other, or I think someplace, anyway, it's still the night there, so they probably aren't watching. But anyway, I just want to make sure you guys can check it out. What was I talking about? That is crazy, just that fast. I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? I need to drink some matcha tea to help me remember what in the heck I was talking about. Well, I'll tell you this. So today I went to the Ministry of Tourism. I met with someone there. And, oh, I know, I was talking about my website. That's right. I was talking about my website that's going to be coming out soon, so that there'll be like a clearinghouse of information for you guys to get. I do think, though, that what I'm going to do, right, thank you, Ty. So it takes a minute sometimes. I'm going to do some live streams on a regular basis where, again, you guys can ask certain questions and you can get directly to me and have answers directly back. But I also am going to have a website where people can go and, like, if they want information about moving here or schools or insurance or whatever, it's all going to be there, available at different levels for people who want different levels of service. And if you want to help, some help getting your residency, or you have a legal question, whatever, there's just all that. Do I miss the comfort and amenities of the States? Not much. Here's an example. So today, the electricity went out, which happens sometimes. Like, it could go out right now. Just for the record, if things go black, just know that is just part of living on an island. And I don't think it's just the DR. I think it's the Caribbean because, I mean, we're an island. They don't have like cables running underground connecting us. It's all satellite. And so things just happen. And so I had a meeting. I had a meeting at noon today with my attorney, and just to pick his brain about some things. And I needed to get ready. And so when the electricity goes off, the pump that pumps water up to my shower and like to the kitchen sink and all that, of course, doesn't work, which means there's no water. So rather than go a little bit sweaty to my meeting, because I can't do that, I called the guy who like is the groundskeeper where I live, and I was like, can you please get me a bucket of water from like the cistern next door? So it's like a well. So he goes and he like scoops out a bucket of water. It's clean because it's covered and they put some like stuff in it to filter it, whatever. But I bathed from a bucket today. So yeah, I miss having a nice regular shower because my shower was not functional. And it's not the first time I've done that. But I was clean. I miss clean water. And you do what you got to do sometimes. So this living may not be for the faint of heart. I mean, it wasn't like extreme or whatever. It was a little cold, but other than that, it wasn't a big deal. But no, I really don't miss a lot of like creature comforts from home because I'm pretty comfortable here. I mean, I have a nice home, and now that I have a car, oh my God, that was my biggest thing that I miss. I miss my car, but now I have a car so I can get around. I have my freedom back. I have my independence. I have my privacy. I don't have to like tell somebody, can you pick me up here? Can you take me there? Like I can just do what I want to do, which is great. But no, not really. I don't miss foods. The foods here are so good. No, but the shower, the bucket shower was kind of a trip, but I was clean and fresh and went about my business. So, no, I do get asked that sometimes. And it's funny because one of the things I miss every now and then is like Thai food, but now there's a Thai restaurant here, which I went to once, and, they're finding their feet, and they have a Mexican restaurant here. So I don't really miss stuff like that. Do I miss my friends? Yeah, I miss my friends. I miss my community sometimes. Like when I was home I didn't go to California, but I was in the States on the East Coast during Christmas and New Year's. And I got to see some friends there. Shout out to my girl and some family. And that's nice. And there are times I'm like, well, I wish I could do more of this. I wish I could see more people. But I don't find myself like on a daily basis missing people, because the deal, I mean, honestly, I don't know about you guys, but how much do you really hang out with your friends on a regular basis? Like when I was at home, I wasn't seeing people all the time. And I think that's just a factor of getting older because, we have responsibilities, we have jobs, we have lives, many of us have children or spouses or what have you. So we're not always just kicking it like when you're in your 20s or something, or, in college, and that's just kind of what your life is about. And I talk to my friends a lot. The technology now is great. I can do WhatsApp, we can do video chats. There's this thing called Marco Polo, which I love. And I communicate with friends on that platform. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, I mean, every now and then it'd be nice to be like, roll up to my girl's house and have a glass of wine and that kind of stuff. But no, and one of the things I do want to do is probably go back to the US a little bit more often, hopefully for some business. Everybody say a prayer that starts happening. And then I'll be able to interact much more. So no, so I'm okay. Don't really feel lonely or anything like that. Of all the Latin countries, why did I choose the DR? So I get asked this question a lot, actually. And my answer is this. I feel like, I don't want to say the DR chose me, but that's where the door opened. And I feel like, I don't know if I want to call it divine or like providence, but for all of my adult life, and those people who know me well know this, I have wanted to live overseas. I wanted to raise a family overseas. I wanted to like always be traveling. I mean, not like constantly moving, but I'm saying just have the ability to really see a lot of the world. So I knew that at some point I was going to make that move overseas. And I have studied overseas and a lot of traveling, but I had never made a permanent home. I think the longest I had done was like a summer in Paris back when I was like 25 or something like that. And, but I wanted to set up a permanent residence, but whether it was work or school or my own nervousness about doing it, pulling the trigger at certain points. I didn't do it. And I got to an age where I was like, look, you need to get on this or you're going to probably mess up and miss your opportunity. So I looked online. I found an organization. It's called CIEE.org, if anybody's interested. And they do teach abroad programs. And so the only one, they do things like, a year in China or 6 months in Argentina or whatever. And the only one, though, that has a summer program, which I was interested in, was here in the DR. So that's the door that opened. So I was a professor initially for a summer here back in 2016. And that's how I got to the DR. And honestly, I didn't really like it. I liked my job. I loved the university, the campus, all that was cool. But the country itself, I was like, Punta Cana was pretty. We spent a few days there initially. And then I went to Santiago, which is where I taught for the summer. But Santiago's inland. It's like an hour and a half from the nearest beach, which is on the north coast. And I didn't love it. It was like, it was kind of dirty. And that summer they were having the Zika virus. And there was some issue with like the incumbent mayor who'd lost the election. Was like, I'm not collecting any more trash. Just some renegade ridiculousness. So there were piles of trash all over the place. And it was kind of gross. And I didn't find there was a lot to do in the city. Just like, Plus I wasn't, again, like 20 something trying to hang out, at bars or clubs or whatever. I was a mom with I think my son was 5 or 6 at the time. So my life was very different. So that's how I ended up happening to come to the DR. But when I came, so I went to like Punta Cana and Jarabacoa and North Coast, Puerto Plata and those places and all over. But I kept reading about Samaná and Las Arenas. And I was like, that sounds really interesting. And I met somebody who's from this area and he kept saying, gotta go, gotta go. And I was like, all right, well, let me go check it out. And we came here. When I came here instantly, like immediately, I was like, what is this place? This is beautiful. I want to live here. Didn't even know anything about it. But I was like, I want to live here. And that's how I came to live in this place and I guess chose the DR. But it wasn't like for all my life, I wanted to live in the Dominican Republic. I mean, for a long time, I really didn't know anything about the country. I'd heard about Punta Cana and people who'd visited there, but that was about it. So that's how that happened. Where's my home in the States? I'm from California. I was born in DC, Georgetown specifically, Georgetown University Hospital, but I was raised for sure in Cali. I'm a Cali girl through and through, but I lived in Atlanta. I went to college in Atlanta. I started at Berkeley actually for my college, and I finished up at Spelman. And I lived in DC after, being born there. I went back and lived there several times. I went to law school in DC at Howard and went to law school again because I'm a glutton for punishment. I went back and got another degree in international law at Berkeley. But yeah, mainly I've lived in California, kind of bounced around a bit. And I still consider Cali home. So interesting because one of the reasons I don't like going to the DR, I've seen it's so expensive. I've never been to Colombia, and it's funny because living here, I feel like, oh, now I should take advantage of being so close to South America, and I should hop down there and check out places like Colombia and Brazil. But I haven't done it. One of the problems, I guess, is that they don't have those little island hopper airplanes anymore. Not that they don't have the airplanes, but the airlines are gone. Like the DR used to have its own airline called PAWA, P-A-W-A. And the first time I came here, we took a flight. That summer in 2016, I was just talking about, we went to 5 different countries that summer. And so hopped around on different, Howard Law School. Yeah, I know her. We hopped around. And so PAWA was great because it was not that expensive. And, for example, like we went to Cuba that summer. Well, Cuba is right next door to the DR. And if I were able to fly from here directly to Cuba, it would take me maybe an hour, probably less. I don't know about exactly how close, but it's really, really close. But instead, we had to fly all the way to Panama and wait for, some hours, then fly all the way back to Cuba, which is stupid. It's like a paperclip. Like, you go, it's like a 2/3 of a triangle instead of going straight across. So I feel like it's a huge niche, a huge opportunity for somebody to step into that market and do like, let me fly to Jamaica, let me fly to Puerto Rico, let me fly to wherever. But that doesn't exist. So Colombia and those places, I'm actually told by somebody, a Dominican girl who lives here, I forget the name of the airline, but apparently their flights for Colombia, they're relatively cheap. So I want to explore that because I do want to get to South America, places like Colombia before, I don't know how long I'm going to live in the DR, but before we leave here, I want to do that. So we'll see. HU, Howard people, where are you? How expensive are houses? Well, you know, you need to watch the video with Rob. Be like Rob. So the info is there. I put on that we saw 6 houses that day, and for each house I put like 150 or 180. They ranged from I think like 150,000 up to 280. I think was the highest one, and obviously that's the asking price. To be quite honest, I thought the first house, which was a complete fixer, they had nerve asking 150 for that house. But you know, whatever people pay. The market is whatever people will pay. So. Issue person, cool. So yeah, I mean, so I will tell you, I sent some information to that same subscriber before he came because he told me I want to see some houses. I instantly started checking, and I saw something online here it was a 2-bedroom place in what they call residencia here. Residencia is like a community. It can be condos or it can be like individual villas inside of a community. They may share a common pool, things like that. You typically will pay an HOA fee monthly. Maybe like $100, $250, depends, you know, and it covers like security and maintenance, all that stuff. And so I saw a place online. It was a 2-bedroom in a residencia with a pool, the whole bit, for $70,000, 70. And so I sent a picture to him. I was like, look at this. Well, he wasn't coming for another few weeks, but he's like, oh yeah, I want to come. I want to see it. So when he got here, he's like, hey, let's go check out that place. Well, it had been bought, right? Because it was, and I didn't know that specific unit, but I had been in that residency before working with some people who wanted to sell their unit from like last year. So you can find little deals like that. I mean, there are plenty of people who pay way more. I mean, there are houses here that go into the millions and they're phenomenal. But, you know, the average person is not paying that much. They're paying, you know, in the 2s, maybe 3s, depending upon the size, location. Of course, if you're by the beach, you're going to pay more, stuff like that. I'm looking at this, Medellín Puerto Plata. Yeah, the thing is, once you're outside of the U.S., like this is what I talked about a little bit in my video when I said 5 reasons Americans are leaving the U.S. It's because it's a lot cheaper to travel. Laura, you know about when you were living in Ethiopia and when you lived in Asia, how cheap it is to go to different places, you know, in those regions once you're out of the U.S. But yeah, you try flying to Singapore from the U.S. or to South Africa or to Brazil, it costs a grip, right? It's a whole bunch of money. That's another reason I want to take advantage of doing some more traveling while we're here, because I'm going to pay so much less. And having dollars, that benefits me because, of course, the dollar trumps whatever currency, at least right now it does. We'll see what happens. But right now, the dollar is still pretty strong in relation to the peso and all that. So yeah, I just have to figure out what time and, you know, just basically just decide to go. Okay, let me see. I'm just going down the line here. How difficult was it to learn 2 languages? So it was not hard for me because I started when I was, I think, 7, I started learning French. I went to a school, I grew up in San Francisco, went to a private school there where they taught French. And, you know, some people are good at math, some people are great painters, some people, whatever, great at computers, tech stuff. Languages were easy for me. And so I picked up French really easily. And also because I think when you're a child, you absorb information much more easily than when we get older and crusty and our brains are all stiff. So, so French was actually my 2nd language, and I excelled at that, got placed in like this sort of advanced courses, and I took French all the way from elementary school, all the way through high school, all the way through college. So my major in college was actually Spanish. I started Spanish in 10th grade and also took that all the way through to, you know, through high school, college, all that. Well, didn't take it 9th grade, but from 10th grade on through college, I took both languages. And so I was going to do a double major in French and Spanish, but I got lazy. I didn't want to do all the work, and Spanish was just a lot easier, I guess. I'm not sure why I chose Spanish, but I did. So it was not hard for me at all, but I know that it's just not hard for me. But I mean, again, these are Romance languages. I took, I think, like a week of Japanese when I was at Berkeley, and I was like, what are they talking about? You know, it's totally different. There were no clues. I'm looking at characters. I couldn't like piece out the roots of words because they were familiar. So if I had been studying Arabic, it might have been a different story, or Japanese, but French and Spanish are pretty easy, so not difficult at all. And obviously, the more you practice, like my immersion. In fact, when I was meeting with the lawyer today, he's like, oh, your Spanish is much better. And it's because I live here now, and I'm speaking Spanish every day. I'm hearing Spanish every day. And Dominican Spanish it's like Cuban Spanish. You know, they drop some of the consonants. for example, ¿cómo estás, right? How are you? ¿Cómo tú estás? How are you? Instead of saying ¿cómo tú estás with those S's, they'd be like ¿cómo tú estás? ¿Cómo tú estás? And so at first I was like, what? Or I don't know. If I think of some more expressions, I'll let you guys know. I mean, I think I'm going to do a video, actually. I have some people lined up to do a video about Dominican expressions because they say some crazy stuff. But that was the only part that I'd say was hard, was learning that. But otherwise, nah, it's not that bad. When buying houses, the asking price, it's always in dollars. I don't quote anything in pesos. I quote, and the prices here are always listed in dollars, even though there's people from Europe and wherever around the world, they quote prices primarily in dollars. So, and if you see me put something online about the price of a house or something, it's going to be in dollars. Yeah, I really want to get to Colombia because I keep hearing, I've heard about like the Afro Colombian culture there, and different cities like Medellin, like Bogota, Cali. What are the other ones? There's San Andres, an island off of the coast of Colombia, which is supposed to be really beautiful. I mean, I live the island life, so I'm not like, people go, oh my God, it has beautiful beaches. And I'm like, okay, well, great, I live at a beach, So that's not necessarily a big draw for me, but it's more of the culture. And Colombia, I'm curious about, but I really want to see some other parts of South America too. Definitely want to get to Brazil. I've heard great things about Ecuador, Peru, obviously Machu Picchu, the Galapagos Islands. I mean, if you go farther down into the southern part of South America, the world is huge. And so I feel like, why not see it? Let's see it, right? Exchange rate for US right now, it's about 53 pesos to the dollar, which is great. Earlier when I was here, like last year, it bounced down to about 47. So, so I'm happy right now that it's up because my dollar goes pretty far, which is nice. And I always try to keep some dollars on me, not on me like walking around, but like, have a little bit of dollars. Just, I don't know. I just like to have a little bit of cash. Excuse me, of whatever kind. And certainly having some dollars is good because you can always go and get a pretty exchange. So the schools. Okay. So yes, I would say well, let me ask you this. So are you talking about private schools or are you talking about Dominican schools? Because the Dominican public education system is not known for being good at all. It's weak, in fact. A lot of Dominicans are definitely undereducated. A lot of them drop out of school at early ages. A lot of the boys will drop out and they start doing the whole baseball thing. So my son is in a private school here. It's funny you asked that because I had a conversation with a woman just today, another mother of, expat children here today, about, would you put your child in the Dominican school really just for the experience, not for the education, but just to have the experience of going to school with Dominican kids and what that's all about. And I'm like, I thought about that. I'd have to research it a little more thoroughly to find out like what that would really be like for him. And basically it would be a year where I wouldn't necessarily have the expectation that he's going to learn like up to certain academic standards that we are used to, different type of learning. So I don't know. But as far as the private schools, a lot of them follow the US Common Core curriculum. Is it called Common Core? Where are my teachers in the house? Laura, is it called Common Core? I think it's called Common Core, right? That curriculum. Yeah, school video, we'll see. It depends upon permission, right? But they follow that curriculum. There's a French school here. They follow the French baccalaureate curriculum. That's typically, and obviously they meet the Dominican standards too, but if you're doing US standard or French standard, then you're going to be fine. So from that standpoint, I don't have a problem with the schools here. I will say that the French are a strange bunch of people. Sorry, I put it out publicly on the Facebook page here. They have some issues. They really do. I know some French people individually who are perfectly fine and nice people, but as a group, they're not fucked up. Sorry, but they're just arrogant and they just have some issues and they just act really ugly to a lot of people in town. I've heard that they cheat other people in their businesses, specifically like Dominicans and Haitians, they treat them really badly. So that spills over into, well, for example, the French educational system is known for being very rigid rigid. And whereas a lot of people now in the US are recognizing the benefit of student-centered education and project-based learning and things like that, the IB curriculum, it's called different. They are viewing things still as like students sit in their desks, supposed to be quiet all day and just like work, work, work. The teacher is like the boss of the class and has like ultimate authority. A little prickly, not my favorite. Who doesn't cater to special needs? You're talking about IB doesn't cater to special needs, or the French? French are a trip. That's all I have to say about that. So I actually have, I started out this live stream by talking about a teacher who has been engaging in humiliation of students and like, she's mean. I think she just, I don't want to say what I want to say. I mean, I do want to say what I want to say, but I don't want to say it. But you know what I'm thinking? She ain't cool. She's that. So that's what I have to say about schools. Did I answer your question? The bottom line is that yes, you can get a good education here for your kids in Santo Domingo. So I live in a little beach town, right? For those who don't know, and there are a few pretty good schools here. But if you're in places like Santo Domingo, the capital, or Santiago, some of those towns, they have a lot of really good schools. I mean, like really good schools where kids are going to, you name some of the top colleges, or if they're going to high school outside of this country, it's all possible. So, and while like someone today was saying, well, it was $10,000 for the high school in Santo Domingo. That may be true, but that same high school in the U.S. might cost you 40 grand, right? So $10,000 is not cheap, but it's a sliver of what you're going to pay in the U.S. So let me go back and see. Eek, hang on, I missed a bunch of questions here. Hold up, you guys. Hold up. Private schools will bring your kids from the States. Yeah, so when I talk about schools, typically I'm talking about private schools here. If I'm referring to Dominican schools, I am usually talking about Dominican public schools. There are Dominican private schools, but again, like I can give you some names, for example. If you look up St. George in Santo Domingo, I think that's like $14,000 a year. Carol Morgan is a school, like the ambassadors' kids go to Carol Morgan. Those are like the tippity top, like super exclusive schools. What are some other ones? There's one called ABC. It stands for something. I can't think of that right now. In Santiago, there's Santiago Christian School. There's New Horizons is in Santiago and in Santo Domingo. That's a good school. Again, all private. What else? Exactly. Get some swag with the Dominicans. That was my thought. Like, it's not going to be like I could supplement the learning, and he's cool on that, but I'm like, yeah, go hang with the Dominicans, go meet them, go find out what that's like, doing that. So I don't know. I've kind of thought that might be interesting. So we'll see. Have I met any African-American freed slave families in Samana? So no, I haven't met anybody specifically. And the deal with that, so the question is, let me read it. The question is, have I met any African-American freed slave families in Samana that came from Pennsylvania? So let me back up a little bit for those who don't know the history. So back in the slave days, I think there actually were a couple of ships. I should know this so I can share it with you guys. But there were some ships that left from Pennsylvania with freed slaves who were on their way. My understanding is they were on their way to Liberia, right? The colony in Africa that they started for free slaves. But for whatever reason, I don't know if the ship had trouble or it sank or something, but they ended up here. They didn't get that far, so they ended up here in the DR on this eastern peninsula where I am called Samana. And because they were coming from the US, they spoke English. Of course, they're Black folks, and Dominicans look just like me and you and any variety of Black folk, they look like that. So they settled here, and they were an English-speaking population that then blended over time with the Spanish-speaking population. But because Samana is a peninsula, it's kind of sticking out from the rest of the DR. They really preserve that English-speaking tradition. And so for many, many years and some generations, there was a very strong English-speaking population down there with last names like Kelly and King and what are some other names? Cooper, things like that. Some American last names, English last names, white American last names. And they still exist down there, but a lot of the English speaking is kind of, again, people have mixed, and there are some people who still speak English. I went to actually the first church that was settled there by those slaves you're talking about. And yes, they do still speak English. They do last names, but I don't know about if they still speak English. Okay, so let me scroll back down. Let's see. Yeah, the French people are a trip. They're just a trip. You know, they're just they ain't right. A lot of them are just not right. And you know, I feel like ugly. You do ugly comes back to get you. Do the Dominicans that have jobs, do they have to pay for their health care? Typically, Dominican healthcare is free. It's a public health system here, but it's not very good. It's not very good. And I think I gave the example, was it a live stream, where I was talking about I went to the salon and there's a woman there that I know who does nails and does hair. And she had this big like scar down her arm, like a big long scar. And it was a pretty fresh wound, you could tell. And not only was it a big scar, like a big line where she'd been sewn up apparently, she had staples. It looked like from a staple gun, straight up, like someone just went ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk down her arm. And I was like, her name's Anna. I was like, Anna, what happened to you? And she's like, I had a moto accident, you know, like on her motorbike, whatever. I don't know if she was driving, whatever. And she broke her arm. And so presumably she went to the public health hospital and that's how they handled it. And I was like, oh my God. You know, I was like, are you in pain? She's like, yeah. So she said she was taking ibuprofen, but I'm hoping that if that happens to me, heaven forbid, I'm not leaving like that. Like they're going to have to make it look better because that just seemed ghastly and like prehistoric staples and stuff. So no, there is a public health system for Dominicans. Obviously, Dominicans with more money can pay for private health insurance, but the average Dominican is not doing that. They don't have the money for that. That's you know, it's expensive. Schools in the DR in general don't cater if your child's autistic. So I heard actually that there's a French school here in town. That the French school actually, there's an autistic child at the French school, and I'm not sure how they're maybe catering to that child. But I think a lot of schools, like the private schools, at least where I live, are willing to accept children with different types of needs. So if your child, whatever, has a different learning style, and I can't speak very well to this because I'm not an educator, so I don't know necessarily the right language, but that they will at least try to accept a lot of different types of kids and offer them the best they can. Now, that being said, there's not a lot of extra resources to devote to kids who may need a specialist to help them with whatever their learning needs are. So they may not have the staff to like separate, you know, with your child for an hour or 2 hours a day, whatever it may be. But they're definitely willing to be inclusive, which I think is nice. Santiago, yeah, I would look Santiago for schools. They have a lot of schools there, and I did it actually. I had the second time I came to the country was in 2017, and I was on a contract, and I did a business, like a tour of school. That's how I know about these schools. I did a tour of a lot of the schools in the country, from Sosua. What's the school in Sosua? The Sosua, is it called Sosua International School? I forget, but we visited a bunch of different schools, so that's how I know about like Santiago Christian, and I can't think of the other schools in Santiago. New Horizons, I mentioned. I can't think of the other ones, but I mentioned a few. So yeah, check it out. You can just Google like private schools in Santiago maybe, and they should come up. Or if you call one and ask for some information about others, they'll be probably happy to give them to you. Give those names. When getting financing from our bank, yes, the banks use FICO scores just like in the US. They qualify you. They want to see 2 years of your income, just like the US. And they want to see your FICO score. And the qualifying criteria are very much like in the US in terms of what the score should be. So, you know, a good score here is what you would think of as a good score there. It doesn't mean you have to have perfect credit, but if you have some stuff you need to clean up, start cleaning it up before you come and look for a house. I did also hear recently, I mean, like within just the past couple of days, that it is, and I have to look into this because I'm not sure, but it's preferable to get US financing because someone told me that the interest rates are better in the US. I hadn't heard that before, and I haven't heard people here who've bought using DR financing say that, but I'll look into it so I can get you guys some more information on that. But absolutely, banks here do lend to US buyers. My understanding is that they will only, at least one bank will only lend up to, maybe all of them, I need to check that too, up to 70% of the appraised value of the house. So if your house is worth $1,000 that you want to buy, sorry, $100,000 that you want to buy here, they'll loan you up to $70,000, and then they want you to put down between 20 and 30. So that's a little, it's not perfect information, but I think that's pretty solid to go on. Johnsons, what does Johnsons mean? Have you met any retirees in the States? Tons of them. Are they living, Yeah, they're very comfortable. Does the Dominican government tax incoming dollars? That's a good question. So I know that if you are earning income here on a Dominican-based business, there's an automatic tax that comes out. It's called ITBIS, ITBIS, and it is 18% the Dominican government is just going to take. But do they tax your pension? I want to say I don't think so, but I'm not positive, so I don't want to give misinformation. But in terms of whether retirees are living comfortably, yes, I know lots of retirees, and the reason they come here, a lot of them, is because it's so much more affordable than in the U.S. If you have $4,000 to $7,000 monthly, you are rolling. You're having a very nice lifestyle. You can live here comfortably on $2,000 a month. I mean, you might want to have more, like if you want to travel or whatever. But $4,000 to $7,000 is, you'll do quite fine here. You can, have a selection of homes to live in, different areas of the country to live in, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so there you go. But let me write that down. This is helpful to me, you guys. Tax on U.S. pension dollars. I don't know. And also about qualifying for loans. Okay. Dominicans and Haitians, the age-old question. So I don't know of any instances of Haitians being like abused or hazed, anything like that. I'm not aware of it. Well, let me say this. Let me qualify that. I do know of certain Dominican, I know of one Dominican man specifically that I've asked before. I think he's just really biased against, sorry, my fan, it's hot. I think he's just biased against Haitians. I think it's because he, was raised in the Dominican culture and school system where they kind of teach that Haitians are inferior, that they are more African, therefore not as close to God, right? Their religion is more heathenistic. It's voodoo. It's not the Catholicism that Dominicans are raised in. A lot of Dominicans are sort of proud of that European heritage. Not all of them, but you know how there are those people. There's like Black people like that. They feel like they're lighter skinned, they're whiter, and so they're better. That kind of attitude. Not all Dominicans are like that. Not even all light-skinned Dominicans are like that. But there are some who get caught up in that. And I think they do that because they benefit from it, right? Like anybody anywhere, if you have some quality or characteristic about you that can somehow set you apart, house nigga, field nigga kind of thing. Excuse me, I don't like to say that, but you know what I mean. Then that influences people's behavior. Those people who are inclined to think like that, it can influence their behavior. But no, I know plenty of Dominicans and Haitians who get along, and I'm definitely working on getting that video coming to you guys. I've been working on that for a while, but interestingly, I've been having, I won't say trouble, but I don't find a lot of people who are really interested in talking about that, at least not on my channel. So we'll see. I do have someone from Instagram who does like work in that area. She's in New York. So we're going to put together a live stream at some point and then cover that, because I think it's an interesting topic. And I'd like to have some Haitians on to talk about how they feel. I actually work with a Haitian guy. I work for a Haitian guy, actually. When I teach English, this is his English school that I'm teaching. Now, this is a Haitian guy who was, I believe, born in the DR, but then his parents took him back to Haiti when he was really young, like a little boy. And he was raised there for, I don't remember exactly, but for some years. Then they came back here and he was educated, like college educated in the DR. And he's doing well. Now, I won't say he's like rolling in the dough, but I think that's just because his school, he needs more teachers. He needs a little bit more help with getting his business off the ground, but he's doing well. He teaches computer classes. That's really his focus. He's a techie pretty much. And I teach English for him. In fact, he's a student in one of my classes, in a conversation class. And yeah, so there are stories of Haitians who are terribly mistreated, but there's also stories of Haitians who are thriving here and who would rather be here than in Haiti, because at least here they can make some money, they can get some service they could not get. Let me say this though, because I think I touched on this in another live stream. When the 2010 earthquake happened in Haiti, and it was disastrous, and there were all these casualties, the Dominican Republic was the first responder. Well, not surprisingly, right, because they're right next door, but they didn't have to do that. But they did. They sent doctors, they sent supplies and equipment and all this kind of stuff. I think even blood over to Haiti to help these people, like literally dig out from the rubble. And then after that was done, they opened their doors to Haitians who just needed a place to go and, to recover and seek social services and healthcare and all that kind of stuff. They let a lot of Haitians come into this country for a long period of time. And they gave them what I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was a 5-year kind of window on getting their citizenship and getting their papers in order so that they could stay here. My understanding is a lot of Haitians, even during that 5 years, did not comply with getting that documentation in order and were just here. Well, the DR government then extended that 5 years for another 2 years to go, okay, well, you haven't gotten it together yet. We understand you're traumatized, whatever, but we need you to get it together. And some didn't. And, a lot of people were like, well, you need to support them and everything. But think about it. The DR is a poor country, right? And so a lot of their own people don't have proper medical care, as I was talking about, or proper education. And so for them to just assume the burden of thousands and thousands of more people who are in the worst possible condition, needing every type of service and assistance you can imagine, I don't feel like that's really reasonable to blame the DR, at least in that instance, for being inhospitable to Haitians. Now, if you want to talk about the history, that's a whole different story, but I don't want to get completely caught up in that because I want to look at some of the other questions that are coming in, but that's at least part of what I have to say about that. No tax on pension. Good. Thank you very much. Expats have certain exemptions. Yes, it depends upon if you run a business. So I was talking about that today, right? Because I'm looking at doing some incorporation here. And when I incorporate, I'll be subject to that 18% tax I talked about. And I know to run a business is not that expensive. The setup is a little bit, depending upon what kind of business you set up, like if it's an LLC or, a sole run entity, whatever. I mean, that's a legal question. In fact, I'm going to put in, where's the card? I have a link for you guys if you want legal, like solid legal advice from a Dominican lawyer, because although I'm a lawyer, I'm not a Dominican lawyer and I can't practice law here in the DR because I don't have a Dominican license. And I'm certainly not about to get one because why would I do that? Another exam? No, thank you. Let me find this man's card. I want to put it up for you because he specifically said today, we were talking about my channel and everything, and where is it? Shoot. I'm going to put this down, I think, and I'm going to get his card. Is it in here? Hang on. It might be this little, ta-da! There it is. Here, hold up. I'm going to type in his link. And if you contact them, he told me today, if you contact him, you can have a 30-minute free consultation to get all these questions answered. But you have to tell him that you're coming through me, otherwise he won't know who you are. So say Free Island Girl, and he'll be like, oh, okay, great. So let me type in, the name of the firm is Guzman Arisa. Where am I? Oops, that's not how you spell it. They are the premier law firm in the country. They have offices in 7 locations. They are phenomenal. The best. The best. I'm not going to mess around people who are not the best. Guzman Arisa Law Firm. I'll just put DR so you guys know what I'm talking about. And then the person you want to contact is Ruben Garcia. He is a senior partner at Guzman Arisa. Senior partner. And his email address is, it's coming in different chunks. Garcia at drlawyer.com. Boop. There you have it. That is who you want to talk to. He is the man. He is the man. And he also happens to be the president of the Boxing Association here. He's like a very, very polished professional, knows a lot, has all kinds of contacts, can give you whatever the information is. I mean, so obviously they farm things out to different people. Like one person in the office may do the residency, someone else may answer citizenship questions, all that kind of stuff. But that's who you want to go to, at least for some preliminary questions about housing, purchases, thank you, about everything you guys are asking me about. Guzman Arisa are the law firm that that's who I deal with. And I've been, you know, being a lawyer, I've come across a lot of different lawyers here. I wouldn't deal with anybody else, just period, the end. And in terms of housing purchases, they only deal with buyers, which is fantastic because that means they're looking out only for your interests. Sellers have to go someplace else. And so you can, in fact, I sold a house through them in their SUA office. I worked with an American client who they represented the purchaser, like I said, and I brought the American client who was wanting to sell the property, and it was just smooth. So all the title transfers, taxes, whatever it is, and they can let you know about, you know, being an American citizen or wherever you may be from. If you have property here, you want to sell it, just whatever the different issues are that can come up, taxes, all that kind of stuff. They are awesome. Okay, so let me see what else. Let me go back. Can I help you get a bank account? Yeah, so you're going to want to go to Banco Popular. Yep. I have all that information. For the record, that's all going to come on my website very soon. You can start checking. I'll give you already here. I'll give you the link to my website. It is not complete yet. So if you go on there and go, I don't see it, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to see it all yet because it's not up yet, but it's coming. Boop, freeislandgirl.com. That is coming. And pretty soon it will have links to, so I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna have different levels of services because I get a lot of the same questions about housing, about these different types of resources. And I have responded to everybody individually, and it takes a lot of time. And, you know, I mean, I don't mind, but, you know, I have other types of work that I do. So, so you guys will be able to get some of this information about schools, about, you know, healthcare, about property purchases, about taxes, about your vacations. If you want to do like a custom vacation, I can help you with that. I've got resources here for photographers and event planners, and I mean, all that kind of stuff. I've amassed a lot of information. So that's all going to be coming on the YouTube. On the YouTube, what am I talking about? Sorry, I looked at something, it threw me off. On the website, so freeislandgirl.com. You can go ahead and check it out. Right now, it just has a whole bunch of my videos. The same videos are on YouTube. You will see there as well. Talking about helping you to open a bank account. Yes, absolutely. All that information is going to be there. You're going to need your tax information. I'll tell you that. A little sneak peek. You're going to need your tax information. Obviously, passport. Your statement from your current bank saying you're in good standing. You don't have to put your balance. You want to say that you're in good standing. And what else is there? I think from an employer, just saying, what does it even say? That you're employed, or maybe they want to see a statement of your earnings. So I'll tell you this, DR has gotten a lot tighter about opening bank accounts because apparently there's a lot of money being laundered through here because they're in a great location right there, like in the middle of the Caribbean. It's a big island, lots of different ports, lots of different airports. And, you know, people are doing some shady stuff, I guess. So they're a little bit tighter on that now. So you want to get your banking, your paperwork in order if you're talking about opening a bank account, purchasing a home, investing in a business. There are free trade zones here where you can get tax exemptions for certain businesses in certain locations. So there's so much information, you guys. And yeah, so the website is where you want to go. Not now, I'm telling you, it's going to be maybe a few more weeks for finishing some final things, but it's coming. I'm going back here. Would I recommend moving if you don't speak? Yeah, there are plenty of people. So the question is, would I recommend someone move here if they don't speak Spanish? You can move here without speaking Spanish. Certainly in the places like Santo Domingo and Santiago, the bigger cities, there are going to be many more English-speaking, like English-speaking Dominicans. And so because they're more professionals, they're more educated there, again, a lot of the better schools are in those areas. So that wouldn't be a problem. But even in places like where I live and some of the smaller folks, some of the smaller towns, there aren't necessarily a lot of Dominicans who speak English. There's some, and some who like speak un poquito, you know, but not a lot of locals speak very good English. But there are a lot of expats in these different towns, and you will find pockets of communities like Cabarete and Sosúa. There are loads of people up there who speak English. There are loads of people in, obviously, the Punta Cana area and just all over the place. So yes, you can get by without speaking Spanish. The other thing is that you're going to pick up Spanish really quickly when you're here. Even if you feel like, oh, well, you're a language person, but I'm not. There are certain things you're going to hear over and over and over. If you see me hold this up every day and I say, bolígrafo or pluma, there's different words for pen, but if I say, word they use here is lapicero, 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 you're going to go, oh, it's a pen, lapicero, so you'll know lapicero. If I lift this up over and over again, right, we'll call it a book, and I say libro, 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 you're going to understand after 10 times or 5 times or however much you need, that's how you say book. When you go into restaurants that you begin to frequent, you'll know how to ask for certain things because it'll become familiar to you. So it's not like, oh my gosh, I have to learn how to like speak in paragraphs. No, you're going to learn basics like how to ask, please help, where's the bathroom? How much does this cost? I'd like, a cup of coffee, things like that. And that'll become really easy for you. And then you just build on that. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Yeah, the pension question, great. Yeah. The Haitians do the hard work. Yeah, so in that video that's up right now about the housing tour, that's exactly why I showed that part. If you haven't watched it, go check out that video because I show you Haitians actually building an apartment building like out there, and they don't have on any protective gear. They're just out there, and it's like old school kind of like pulleys with ropes, pulling up buckets and stuff. It's very unsophisticated, a lot of it. They do very hard work. So I'm from California, and where I'm from, it's like Mexicans and Central Americans who do that kind of heavy labor. Here it's the Haitians, and they're paid peanuts, really, really poorly. Some people, like if it's, maybe like private developers, they may include lunch, right? And so they don't pay them as much, but they give them lunch or, things like that. But I've heard from people now, this is the developers talking to me, so I don't know, but I've heard them say that they've had Haitians who are just so, so grateful that they're getting, a hot meal every day. And they're getting on top of that, however many pesos they're earning, and they're squirreling that stuff away by and large, and then sending it home to their families who may have literally nothing in Haiti. So it's definitely not what you or I would do, but for someone who has their back against the wall, it's a job. So-called documentaries do Haitians badly. Have I ever wondered why there's no documentaries about the Haitians in Haiti? Oh, here we go. All the problems they have there and the responsibility. Yeah, I know. So a lot of people, and I myself included, I talk about different negative influences certainly the French. The Clinton Foundation has been a little sketchy about what's happening in Haiti with some of the mining operations. Hillary Clinton's brother, who at least for a time had owned the rights to gold mining in Haiti. Why? But yeah, I mean, we all have to take responsibility for our own lives, right? You do, I do. I can say, well, somebody else didn't do right by me, and so that's why I'm in this position I'm in. But ultimately, I have to make the decisions and make the choices to improve my status. So yes, what's up with the Haitian government? I mean, the Duvaliers, they did their country wrong, which is terrible. And so there's been a succession of leaders that were corrupt, just like in every other country. People get some power, they get some money, and they fall into deep corruption. So yeah, and I've heard, I think it was another YouTube channel I watched where it was a Haitian guy talking about this. And I think he was even kind of like expressing the opinion that it's almost like, the forest has to burn all the way down and regrow for it to come up right. And no, it was a woman. That's what someone just sent me a link of a woman, a Haitian woman talking about what was going on. She was like, they're going to have to start all over again. I don't know if that's true, but yes, I mean, to some extent, the Haitian government is going to have to take the bull by the horns and figure out how to get itself out of the ditch that it's in, because Haiti is beautiful. It's a beautiful country. It is resource rich. They've got oil, they've got ore, they've got people. I mean, the human capital there is tremendous. Haitians value education. When I was there back in 2016, they had a parade of people walking through the streets, graduates in their caps and gowns, and like with the people playing all the instruments behind them, like serenading these people, drums and trombones. I thought it was carnival. I was in a hotel and I came out and I was like, what is this? I'm going to miss carnival. And I came out and it was, they were like literally parading graduates. I think they were like nursing students and some others through the streets, like celebrating this accomplishment. So they value education. Hey, don't anyone ever tell you the Haitians are just dumb and don't care. I mean, there's dumb people everywhere, but I'm talking about they value education. And there's a tremendous amount of human capital and human potential in Haiti. So beyond the resources and the beauty of the island, they're the people themselves. Haiti's a country that I feel like could, like, if it were more stable and I had the money right now, I would invest in Haiti. I would absolutely buy land in Haiti because I don't think I don't know what's happening. Like, I don't know what the rights are in terms of ownership of land in Haiti, but it is beautiful. And I feel like at some point it's got to turn around because it's just too rich of a country not to. But I also think that there are countries in the world, including the US, probably not surprisingly, that benefit from Haiti being poor and screwed up, because then other countries can come in like with a savior thing and supposedly help them. And even when I was there, I saw the UN, and the UN's, like, not their territory, but their compound kind of was surrounded by barbed wire. And I was like, aren't they here to do peacekeeping? That didn't seem peaceful. They just seemed really separate. And I read recently that they pulled out and some shady stuff. I don't know. And my factual mixed up because I have a bunch of different things I'm thinking about, and I haven't really studied a lot of this recently. But yes, Haiti needs to get itself together. Maybe partner with some people who are legitimately interested in helping the country. I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I really want to see Haiti thrive and prosper because they deserve it. Let me see. Let me go down here. I have all my stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're talking about construction of houses. Yeah, Haitians build everything here. I dream of the day too they fix up Haiti and make it a beautiful country. Haiti is beautiful. I was on the North Coast, like I said, back in 2016 in Cap-Haitian. It's phenomenal. They have hills, and I mean, there's wealth in Haiti. There's wealth in every country, right? There's wealth in Haiti. All people in Haiti are not destitute and like in the street. And for the record, a lot of Haiti was clean. Like you see shopkeepers out in the morning, like sweeping outside of their places, and the streets were clean. It was not littered and filthy. In fact, the DR I thought was much dirtier than Haiti was, at least some of the parts that I saw. Now, there's absolute abject poverty in Haiti, but the people have a lot of pride. I enjoyed it. I mean, obviously, it was not easy to see people, who were struggling, but I thought the people were beautiful. The food was delicious. The music in Haiti is phenomenal. Like every single thing I heard there was phenomenal. Check this out. Google, I'm gonna put this down here for you, just so you can look at it. If you ever go to Haiti, and I recommend you go to the north, and you can go to the south, but if you go to the north, you wanna stay here. Hotel Henri Christophe. It's named after the king, Henry Christopher. Henri Christophe was the Haitian king. Hang on, Christophe. Boop. Cap-Haitian, Haiti. Just look at it, you guys, because it's beautiful. What am I doing here? Oh, crap. I typed the wrong thing somewhere. Oops. Okay, Haitian. Sorry, my typing skills are kind of slow. I'm doing. Bam. So check out the Hotel Henri Christophe, named after the French king, Henri Christopher. If you don't know Henri Christophe, look him up too. He was bad. He actually, I mean, this doesn't make him like bad, but he committed suicide rather than be captured by the French. And he built he's responsible for the Citadel, which is the big, huge fort they use. They built to ward off invasion from the Spanish and French. We visited there. It's amazing. I was told it's the eighth wonder of the world, although when I Googled it, there's like several eighth wonders of the world. But anyway, it's an amazing structure, incredible history. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. His palace is still, the ruins of his palace, called Sans Souci, which means no worries, are still there just below the Citadel. Amazing. Haiti. Yes, Haitians do speak several languages. It's very impressive. I told you they're educated people. Bachata. Bueno, claro que sí. I dance bachata. So the bachata, for those who don't know, is like a Dominican dance. It's like the national dance of the DR, basically. The other one is merengue. I prefer bachata. So merengue is like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's just really quick. It's like the two-step, basically. Merengue is the two-step. I don't love it. It's like a faster pace. Bachata is on the 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you go. It's like you go back kind of in each direction, or you could do like a box step. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I dance bachata, and my dance teacher's back in town now, so we're working on a deal to get some lessons done. He needs some videos done. So I think we might do a barter, which would be awesome. Salsa is my favorite though, because I love salsa music. Salsa music is beautiful. Cuban salsa is just fantastic. But yeah, bachata is big here in the DR. When you drive down the street, you hear bachata blaring out from speakers all over the place. That's just what they do. So yeah, I actually have a video that's half done on Nightlife here, because some people were asking me about Nightlife. And so, you know, it was kind of challenging to do some of the video because of the lighting. But I have some of it, but I don't think it's quite enough. So I'll string that together for you guys. It's like bits and pieces of different times I've gone out. And I think I may do something tomorrow night. And hopefully then I'll have enough to share with you. And you get to see me doing a little bachata. So it's fun. If you don't know what bachata is, you can Google it or YouTube it, and you'll hear some bachata music. Romeo Santos. Here's another one. Romeo Santos. My dance teacher was like, he's the Michael Jackson of bachata. And he is. He's super popular. I mean, he does, you know, they're all doing crossovers now. So like Ozuna is Puerto Rican, but he's popular. I don't know if he does bachata. But a lot of them do collaborations with American artists now. Mark Anthony's Puerto Rican too. He's a salsa guy, but he's collaborated with Romeo Santos, bachata artist. I'm just giving you guys all kinds of information tonight, but you're asking good questions. So yeah, the thing about the pension I'm glad that we answered that, because that was on my mind. And thank you for all the thumbs ups, by the way. I appreciate that. Do you know that helps me on YouTube? So here's the deal. So, I'm at, as you know, over 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. And, you know, you can monetize, well, you can be eligible for monetization on YouTube once you have at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And, I got the little bit confused. So I'm like at 3,500 watch hours. So I have like quite a few more watch hours to go. So I appreciate this. And you're not guaranteed monetization. And for me, my channel's still really small. I mean, they've got people out there who are like, you know, 50,000 viewers and stuff. And so, you know, I don't know, but I figure why not try? Why not? If somebody wants to advertise something on my show, on my channel, then great. Who knows? Couldn't hurt. So thank you for the extra thumbs up from 13 to 14. Thank you. But my point was all that stuff, all the viewer engagement absolutely helps with that. So I try to be very transparent about it. You know, I do this because I like to do it. I enjoy it. I really enjoy sharing information. And when I started out, I had no idea about monetization, just for the record. And once I started learning more about YouTube and how it works and all this kind of stuff, I was like, oh wait, shoot, I could possibly get a check. Well, why not? Who wouldn't want that? So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm some hundreds of hours away still, but I appreciate you guys watching, and then we'll see what happens. I'll let you know. Okay, what is this? Corruption is only a small part of the problem. The biggest problem. Oh yeah, you can see that. Yeah. So okay. So here's your comment, La Quinta. Your comment was blocked. Apparently, I just showed it. The biggest problem is that the economy, the Haitian economy, was raped by France as payback for getting their freedom. Right. So for those of you who don't know that, I'm going to dip back into this Haitian history a little bit. And again, I'm not the factoid person, but I know a little bit of stuff, right? And so if I make a mistake, feel free to correct me. But so we know that the European countries, a lot of them were colonizing all these super rich Caribbean nations and others around the world. But in terms of Caribbean, Haiti and, well, Hispaniola, so the whole island, which is 1/3 Haiti and 2/3 DR, is known as Hispaniola. So the French and English and Spanish at different times were like vying for control of the island. And it boiled down to at the end the French and Spanish. So the French got control of Haiti for a while, and the Spanish got control of the DR for much, much longer, which is why Dominicans speak Spanish and Haitians speak French largely. There's also a Creole language in Haiti that they speak, but they speak French. And so I mentioned Henry Christopher, Henri Christophe, when they, and Toussaint Louverture and all those, like kicked the French's behinds and gained their independence, thereby becoming the first independent Black nation in the Western Hemisphere. The French were pissed off, as French people will get, right? And they demanded that the Haitians then pay them like what do I call it, an excise? It basically was like extortion. If you don't pay us this amount of money in gold, because Haiti's rich in gold, again, check out the gold bond situation in Haiti, we will destroy all of your infrastructure, which they did anyway. like the roads, the hospitals, the schools, all destroyed because they were just salty about losing. And so for many, many, many years, the Haitians had to pay this toll basically for their freedom, essentially, which I always wonder, like, why? You already kicked their butts. Why are you paying them? Like, why? You've proven that you can win. I never got why they paid that. Like, if somebody's trying to bully you and you beat them down, like, no, you're not going to bully me. And they go, well, you better pay me some money or I'm going to keep bullying you. It's like, you've already shown that you can kick their butt. So why would you pay them? I don't get that. But anyway, but there was I read something some years ago where a former French president by the name of Mitterrand, Mitterrand, and if you look at it in English, but Mitterrand, was doing like a tour of some of the Caribbean nations, or like, I think he may have been in like in South America somewhere, but he made a comment that yes, well, the France owes Haiti a great debt. People were like, yes, finally France is acknowledging this, and they need to pay Haiti back. And then he went on his next stop to some other island, and some other press person questioned him about that. He's like, oh, no, I didn't mean like paying back the money, which is equivalent to like $20 billion now or more, because that was some years ago. But it's in the many billions of dollars. He was like, oh, I just mean like it's a moral debt, so we need to apologize. Some crap that clearly they need to pay Haiti back so that Haiti could begin to really rebuild. So there's that comment again. What have I missed? Anything else? Reggaeton, yes. Reggaeton, I like. Merengue, Old school bachata, yeah, I'll check that out. Prince Royce, yes. Bachata lessons. So the guy who teaches me is expensive. That's why I'm trying to do a deal with him, because I can't pay him that much. He charges like 20 something bucks per class, so like per hour. And that may not sound like a lot to you guys because you're out living in the other world where money is, amounts are larger, at least what you earn. But here, that's expensive. I've heard that there's some places that teach for like 300 pesos, which is like $6, or even $8, $10, whatever. But 20 something bucks per class adds up quickly. So, and I was going twice a week. But my teacher is really, really good. So I have old salsa videos on here, like where I was just beginning to learn. You'll see that's that same teacher, and I love it. It's so much fun. I leave there and I'm like dripping with sweat. I'm like super drenched, but it's a great workout. But I don't do it for the purpose of the workout. I do it because it's just so much fun. I'm like smiling and the music is so good. It's one of those things where, like, I used to run when I was much younger. And, you get to a point when you're running or whatever kind of exercise maybe that you do, and you just kind of forget whatever kind of stress you may have been dealing with, or, something you were thinking about during the day. It just goes out of your mind. And I have that experience now when I dance. I just feel good. It just makes me really happy. And I'm also focusing on trying to like get my arm out, because he's a stickler. He's like, no, your hand is weak. Give me some resistance, and don't have your steps so wide, close it up. So I'm really focused on trying to do a good, to improve my skill. So I love it. I really love it. Let's see here. Let me check out some of the stuff. You guys are into the history. I love this. 90% of Haitians are illiterate. Is this true? Very few actually speak French. Okay, I don't know. I mean, I suppose I don't know that to be a fact, but okay. Settlers established in Haiti robbed and burned the Guaba region. Okay, city something like that. No. Okay, so you sound like a history buff. The population relocated after the storm and leading. Interesting. Okay, let me see the vandalism. Let me show that comment there so everyone can see. I think this is great that we're having this discussion, because a lot of people, there's been a long time discussion. Ever since I moved here, I had people tell me flat out, I will never visit you because I'm not supporting a country that treats Haitians so badly. And I was like, wow, and I really had to kind of dig into that when I got here. And the first time I began to have these conversations about the DR in Haiti was when I was teaching at the university in Santiago in 2016. I asked my students, so like, what's up? What's the racist thing? And they were like, that's how I found out the thing about the DR being first responders and all that. And so it's been an ongoing conversation I've had with people for a while. But I think that it's an interesting conversation to have, and it's a worthwhile conversation to have, to learn about, why this island is so divided in that way. I mean, not everybody, as I said, but there's definitely a divide. And also, if you don't know about Trujillo, Dominican dictator, you should know about him. Type it down again. Trujillo. Rafael Trujillo. Look him up. Because he had a lot to do with this nasty Haitian divide that's going on. Because number one, he had color issues. He used skin lightening cream to whiten his skin. He was one of those. And he started what's called the Parsley War or Parsley Massacre, I think, actually, because Dominicans say the Dominican word for parsley is pronounced a certain way with the R, the roll of the R. And because Haitians were more in the French tradition, French language, they couldn't pronounce that R that way. And so that's how they would know whether you were Dominican or Haitian, because they couldn't tell by looking at them because they all looked the same, right? Same island. And so they would kill a bunch of Haitians because of that at the border. And so that's also why Haitians now look more sort of traditionally Black African, much dark. I mean, there are obviously lighter skinned Haitians, like there are Black people all over the world, but a lot of them look more traditionally like Black African, very, very dark. Whereas Dominicans are very, very mixed because they were colonized for a whole lot longer. So there's a lot more mixing. So that's why Dominicans don't necessarily look like they might have looked had they had the same fate as Haitians, where they'd been independent a lot sooner. So let me see. Let me go back here. Yes, I'm looking at the dancing, merengue, bachata. Yeah, and so Dominicans like to have a good time. I'll tell you that. Their music is always played loud, and they can be seen outside frequently, like if they have an outside, like a porch area or a patio, or they're like at the local, like colmado, like a local corner store. They'll have some chairs set up out front, like the bodega or kind of thing, and they have a table playing dominoes, and they're drinking some beers, maybe some rum, and Friday nights for sure they're going to be out hanging out, just having a good time. And I like that about them. They're lively people. They're friendly people. They're just, I don't know. I enjoy that they enjoy their. I mean, sometimes their music is blaring. I don't want to hear it that loud, but they know how to have a good time. I will say that for sure. If you go to Dominican party, it's not like a standy, chatty, stand around and sip your drink. No, they're there partying. They're drinking and they're playing music and they're dancing and they're eating, and that's that kind of a party. Yes, that's what it's about. Okay. Fuck, some people have agendas. Trujillo is half Haitian. Is that true? You know what? There's always some stuff. When people are so hateful toward another type of person, they always have some kind of issue. It's always about that person, right? Just like this nasty ass teacher who's humiliating children. I'm like, what is her deal? What's really behind? She must be miserable, because how are you going to humiliate children you're supposed to be teaching? Don't get me started on her again. But that's interesting about Trujillo. I'm going to look him up some more and find out some more about him. So self-hatred, obviously. If you're lightening your skin and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I understand if you have like a scar, like I have scars. I have actually, see that right there? See how it looks all discolored and stuff? I have put lightening cream on to try to make it, I don't know if you can see that, but try to make it match my skin tone again. Now, I don't think it's going to happen because I just jacked myself up, but I'm not putting lightening cream on my face and like trying to change my color, whatever. And the Haitians helped Dominicans get their freedom. That's right. Exactly true. Exactly true. So I've told some Dominicans, like, you need to be thanking Haitians because you might still be under the rule of, Juan Carlos or somebody over in Spain. The word perejil was the word. Exactly. That's the perejil is the Spanish word for parsley. I talked about this at another live stream. It's pronounced perejil. If you speak French, the perejil is a little hard to say. So the French, the rough pronunciation for a French-speaking person would be perejil, perejil. So the R would give them away. And that's when they would get killed, because they couldn't say perejil, they say perejil, and they'd know. Sorry, you're Haitian. Civil war, you're talking about Haiti? Yeah, there's some hardcore stuff going on in Haiti right now. I'm not as informed as I should be, so I can't comment on that. You love to live in the DR? That's awesome. Do you live in Puerto Plata? Are you a real estate agent in Puerto Plata? We should talk, because I have people sometimes who are looking for different areas of the country, and so we should talk about that. Hit me up, freeislandgirl@gmail.com. or on the website, freeislandgirl.com. At one point, the Spaniard, the Taino, and the Africans became Dominicans. Right, so they're a mixture. Yeah. How are Asians? Okay, so Asians, I'm glad you asked that question. So there's Chinese people here right in my town. How they're treated, I don't know. I think people kind of leave them alone. So of course, like Asians everywhere, they have some stores. They have like the spot where you go and you get your fried chicken or you get your fried rice or some noodles. They have those kind of spots. And they also have the stores where it's like everything cheap, 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 meaning like poor quality, right? So like housewares or some shoes or like nail polish, that kind of stuff. I've been in these places, I bought some stuff, but whatever. It is what it is. Interestingly though, up until, just recently I've seen a few Asians out. I say Chinese because I do believe they're Chinese as opposed to Korean or whatever. I'm not positive, but everyone calls them Chinos and I don't know that they're correct. You readjust myself here. Hang on. My legs were tired of holding that. Okay, so, but I would never see them out. Like, where do these people live? Do they ever go out to eat? Like, do their kids go to school? They were like a secret society. It was really, really weird. I would ask other people, like, do you ever see them out? They're like, nope, nope, nope. I see them in the store. But they'd like vanish after that. Like, it was the weirdest thing. Like once, maybe twice, I would see them at the grocery store. And one time, a couple months ago, I saw an Asian family, a wife, presumably the husband, whatever, and a little boy walking down the beach. And I think they were tourists because, they had on like their tourist-looking clothes and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, Asian people are here visiting. But by and large, they are like unto themselves. But check this out. So they have their little stores, right? All of a sudden, guess what's popping up in town? This big structure, which I was talking to the mayor the other day. I was like, what is that? Well, someone else told me, oh, the Chinos, right? So they're building some new store. And he's like, oh, that's like a big store they're building. So I heard, now I don't know if it's true, but the word on the street is that the Chinese government sends some of those people over here, those, shopkeepers and stuff, to, get all the money. How they sell the hair. If you get in the weave, which they do weaves and stuff here, or braids, whatever, they sell the hair, all the cheap stuff. And so they're here getting all the money, and they take it and they build bigger stuff and they get more money. Not only are they opening stores and stuff, apparently they are loaning money to the Dominican government, just like they loan to the US, everybody else. But, the terms are such that when payback time comes, they can't probably repay the loans, much like what the U.S. is in now, this great debt service to China and other places. So then the Chinese begin to own resources in the DR, meaning the land itself. And that's what I think is a dangerous thing, because just like they're doing in Africa, hey, Travelmatic, what's up? Just like they're doing in Africa and other places, they're buying up the resources, and they're targeting specific, well, I don't know what's in their minds, but I'm noticing they're targeting specific areas. So places, again, that are resource rich. The DR has gold. The DR is sitting on oil. Just if Haiti's there, has oil and all these, uranium, whatever these resources are, the DR has it too. It's the same island. Same thing with Africa. So, I know that there are Chinese there that are getting, I can't remember the name of the stuff is you put in to make cell phones, those little chips, they come from some type of ore in the ground. I don't know if it's cadmium or something like that. But the Chinese are mining all this stuff. So I don't know, them Asians. But the thing is, they're stealth. Black people, we go and we like put, videos all over talking about our rims are spinning and our shoes and all whatever crap. The minute we get something, we're advertising about it. Chinese, no. They're going to look regular. You will not know. They're not going to tell you about it. They're not going to advertise it. But next thing you know, like I said, they're building a mini mall, or they own your block, or they own your country. So interesting. But in terms of how they're treated, I don't have the sense that they're mistreated in any way, mainly because nobody sees them. They like poof, disappear. I don't know what they're doing. What else are you guys talking about over here? There's a whole lot going on. Let me see. Palanque. Where'd that go? Oh shoot, I just scrolled and I jumped. Hang on, let me go back. Speaking French again. Oui, je parle français aussi. Alors, parce que le français, c'était ma langue deuxième. Et après ça, j'ai appris l'espagnol. So there. My French is rusty though, because I don't use it that much, right? I need to use it more and make a concerted effort. In fact, I just learned that there are places like, I didn't just learn, but there's like a new session of French lessons coming up. I think I may jump in on, because that would only benefit me to speak more French. I said, but I hate like a Dominican, I would have lived. Well, thank God. It's a benefit to speaking a few languages, that's for sure. Okay, here it is. Palanque, palanque. What is that? Oh, music. Oh, I'll absolutely look that up. I love music. I don't play it all the time, but I love music. So I like to go out and dance. Trujillo. Tregua, 24. You are like a historian, it seems like. I'm impressed. That's great. Real estate Puerto Plata. Absolutely. Hit me up, please. What else? Okay, said you will. Excellent. Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Yep. I love all this Haiti history. You guys need to read this stuff. Honestly, the history it reads like a novel. Like, you get your popcorn and like, what happened then and what happened then. And it's really interesting history. And it explains a lot about what's happening now. And honestly, it's the same kind of stuff that happens all over in different parts of the world. Why one people takes over another. At the root, they're very much the same. The island was populated initially by Taino Indians. And then obviously African culture came, and African culture is so strong. Like you hear the beats of this music. I mean, obviously it goes throughout the world, but when you come to the Caribbean, it's very, very pure still. So it's beautiful music. Haitian music is beautiful music. And, bachata, all that stuff. Cuban music, very much. Cubans will acknowledge the African roots they have, which I love about Cubans, that they acknowledge that. Even though they have color issues too, they can't deny that their fantastic music is straight African. So I like that. Yes, all Asians get called chinos. It's true. So check this out. When I was in Cuba I've been to Cuba a few times, but I think I was there I think it was 2016 after I left the DR that summer. I was staying with a woman at one point outside of Havana, like out in the countryside kind of, this place called Artemisa, named after Artemis, the Greek god. And my hair, I got my hair done the other day, so it's kind of straight now because I sat under the dryer and stuff. But at the time it was naturally curly. And she's like, oh, you should get a keratin treatment. I was like, okay, that sounded good, right? And I thought keratin was like a super protein, like conditioning treatment. And my hair, after being in the DR all summer and traveling to different places, Haiti included and all that, it was just kind of dry from beach, salt water and just whatever, just the travel hardships of being, living abroad. And I was like, cool, let me go get this great, like, pack treatment on my hair. So she takes me over to like her neighbor. Now, mind you, this is all very super rustic living. So I'm sitting on this woman's porch. She's like, okay, you have to put a towel over your face because I'm about to put something in your hair and it has a very, very strong smell. And I'm like, all right. And literally I had to hold the towel like this over my face for minutes and minutes and minutes, like trying to breathe like through the fibers, because it was making my eyes water. And I think it was lye, like straight up old school lye. And it took maybe a good hour, whatever this process was. There were different steps, and I couldn't see, of course, because I had to like not, be aware. It's like a shower cap portion and whatever, all the stuff that just my hair. When this woman finished, and she was like a young girl, she was a nurse part-time, but on her side gig was doing hair, I guess, on her porch, on her patio. My hair was bone straight. I mean, like not a curl, zero. And they called it chino. And at the time, I didn't know what that all was about. And I said, what do you keep saying chino, chino? She's like, oh, because your hair is like a Chinese person that has like zero curl. And I was really like not happy with that because I like my curls, right? I'm thinking I'm going in for like a deep conditioning treatment, keratin. I don't know. She's like, no, keratina. It's like straight up. Like your hair is going to be straight. And the trip thing is, so it's not like if I wash this, right? When I wash my hair, it's going to go back to, and you can see the curls already coming back. And if I go underneath here, it's, it's definitely, well, it's curly anyway. But when I wash it, it's going to curl up like you've seen some of my other videos where my hair is just naturally curly. When I washed my hair after that keratin treatment, I was like a white girl straight up. Like my hair just stayed straight for months. It was incredible. And actually, I did kind of get to like it because it was nice, like not having to do anything to my hair. And it was just a different look. But it was funny because I had no idea what that was about. So that's how I learned about keratin treatments, at least this type of keratin treatment the hard way. So, so all Asians get called chinos. So so they called my hair chino. And I learned, okay, that's what that means. China is putting a lot of money into the DR. And I think it was when I did that video on Sosua a while ago, that's when I first learned about the Chinese making the investment. Well, it's like giving loans to the country, but they know they're loaning like with the intention, I think, of knowing that the DR, if the DR can't cover its debts now and can't even take care of its own people, they're not going to be able to pay back a loan like that. And I don't know that the DR is particularly good at administering the funds that it has, managing the funds. So, you know, they might be speaking Chinese in the DR in a few years. We'll see. Oh my gosh, Tregua. Look at this. Interesting history there. Chinese are everywhere. They're taking over. We might need to learn Mandarin, you guys. It might be time. Yep. Oh, African countries that refuse Chinese loans. That's probably a smart move. Seriously. You know, if people come offering you money, right? Like, who does that? You know they want something. China owns a whole bunch of the U.S. Absolutely. The U.S. is in that, like, up to its eyeballs and can't pay it back. Ones do not recognize having part Africans in their family. I don't know. Yes. Africans are in everybody. Okay. Not like a white girl, like a Chino. Okay. Video ideas, schools, holidays, food. Oh, and speaking of which, yeah, video days, I'm going to do hair. Hey, speaking of hair, have you guys heard of the animated short called Hair Love? It just won an Oscar. In fact, yeah, it won Best Short Animated Oscar. And it's about an African-American father learning to do his little girl's hair. It's wonderful. You can check it out on YouTube. It's called Hair Love. So a guy that I went to law school with, I actually dated him in law school. His wife is a producer, was like the producer. So the director is this guy, Matthew Cherry, who apparently is a former NFL player. I never heard of him, but that's who he is. Maybe you know him if you are into football. He and this woman, Karen Rupert Tolliver, and others produced this film called Hair Love, and it's adorable. You should check it out. There's my plug for Hair Love. Video ideas, I love them. Assumptions about Kelly, young YouTuber. Assumptions about me? That's interesting. What kind of assumptions do you think people have? I need to check that out. I have to Google that or YouTube and see what that is. Dominican girls love the chinos? What? Chinese is becoming a required language in a lot of African schools. So the school that my son went to, I don't know about Africa, but the school that my son went to, which it's, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm a little bit mixed on that one. But the school that my son went to before we came here in the US introduced Mandarin in 3rd grade. Absolutely. And he was actually upset about that because we left in the middle of his 2nd grade year. And he's like, I'm going to miss Mandarin. I want to learn Mandarin. I was like, well, you can learn Mandarin anywhere. You don't have to be at that school to learn Mandarin. When we came here and I saw Chinese people, I was like, oh, well, maybe we can get one of them to teach you Mandarin. But that's very interesting. And the school that he was at said, well, we did that because, you know, they have one Romance language and we didn't want to necessarily do French, another Romance language. We wanted to like make their brain just do a flip and have to learn a whole nother way of processing language because, of course, Chinese characters had nothing to do with a Latin base. And that was their reasoning. I also think that their reasoning had to do with the fact that China has taken over the world. So China looks like it might be the next superpower, while meanwhile the US has got its head up its butt, you know, and it's just done dirty for a whole lot of time. It's borrowing far more than it can pay, keeps on going to war with everybody, which of course runs up the debt. And, you know, people trying to stay in power are desperate and they do things like this. And it's just creates a landslide effect, you know, avalanching the country down into despair and what is the word I'm trying to say? Like when it just all falls apart. Can't think of the word, but that's what I'm talking about. So assumptions about Kelly. Let me tell you this, you know, for a long time, I didn't even want to say my name. I was like, I don't want people to know like who I actually am because I thought, I don't know, is someone going to like stalk me and should I be concerned and all that stuff? But whatever. Hopefully there's no crazy people like that on here. 2nd most spoken language in the DR. I don't know about in the whole country, but in the town where I live, it's definitely French. Spanish, French, I think Italian is 3rd, maybe tied with English. But in the country itself, that's a good question. Yeah, I think Countrywide, again, I'm not sure. Maybe English, countrywide. Then again, maybe French because of the Haitians. And the French people, there's a lot of French people here. Inglés, creo que sí? You think it's English? I don't know. Countrywide it might be. For sure in my town it's French though. There's so many French people here. So here's this, check this out. There's some French people who've lived here for like 20 years, 10 years, and they don't speak Spanish. They refuse to learn Spanish because I think it's because they're just racist. But I've heard that they would prefer to only speak French. So they'll only employ Haitians. So they don't have to go out of their way to learn French or to learn Spanish. They speak, oh my God, I'm getting all tongue-tied. They speak French because they don't have to, they don't have to do anything special. And they hire Haitian people and pay them less than peanuts and whatever. Did Dominican hit on me? Yes. Yeah. But Dominican men, I'm really tall. Dominican men are pretty much short. So I hear a lot of people they'll say, ay, que grande, que grandota, which means, so grande, means big. And at first I was offended because I'm like, are they calling me fat? I'm not fat. But I was like checking, like, is my booty too big? Like, what's up? And of course, there's no such thing as a too big booty in the DR. And I was like, yes, awesome. Black girl power. But I understand that grande doesn't mean big. It means they're talking about my height. If they want to call you fat, they'll call you gorda. And they don't call me gorda because I'm not fat. Although I do got a booty. I'm a black girl. What can I say? Have I been to Carnival in La Vega? You mean Dominican Carnival? No, I've not been there, although I hear it's pretty nice. And Dominican Independence Day is February 27th. So it might be worth taking a drive up to La Vega to check it out. That'd be a good video, right? That'd be fun to see and fun to like get out and dance and stuff. That's a really good idea. I should do that. Might need to do that. What time is it? It's 11:39. That's what I have to say tonight. Those are my thoughts for the evening. What do you guys think? Thank you for all the thumbs up and all the love. I love you guys back. I have a video. I'm going to tell you, here's a sneak peek, a little bit of information about my video coming out this Sunday. I cried on the video because I was really stressed out, you guys. Sometimes I get really stressed. Let me just say this. I'll send a parting thought to you guys. You may see a lot of videos about like, oh, it's beautiful weather and the great food and all that is true. But honestly, I get really stressed out sometimes and it can be very difficult here being a single parent. Just like being a single parent anywhere, it doesn't mean that it's harder here. It just means that sometimes I get overwhelmed and I'm like, shit, where's my man? And I need more money, or I need someone like someone asked about, friends from home, my community, stuff like that. And, I don't want to go into the man thing right now because that's a whole story about Dominicans, whatever. But maybe that's I'll have a glass of wine for that conversation. But it can just be overwhelming sometimes dealing with the different things that you deal with here. So so check out this Sunday's video because you'll see I had a moment. I just celebrated my 2nd year anniversary here, and so we'll share about that. I'll do a man video. Well, maybe. Let me hold up. I'm not going to go too far into that. But there's a lot to talk about and all kinds of things. But yeah, thanks for the suggestions. I'm definitely doing a hair video because Dominican hair is fabulous. I love how they're really creative with their hair. There's carnival. There's music. There's, healthcare. There's lots and lots of things to talk about. Have I dated the DR? Yes, I have. I'll just shake my head on that one. Shake SMH. It is 11:41 p.m. my time. I am 1 hour ahead of the East Coast right now because we do not recognize daylight savings time here. So when you guys did that fall back, we didn't fall back. But in a minute, it's going to be spring forward. So I'll be on the same time zone as East Coast again. And so right now I'm 4 hours ahead of California. In a minute, I'll be 3 hours ahead of California. Hey, you laughing about the man thing? Yeah, girl. I want to know, are you a woman or a man? Capital Real Estate Agency. Are you female or masculine? Or then again, are you a they? These days. So check this out. My son came home the other day. Maybe this is irreverent, but he was talking about this whole thing about how you identify, and he goes, what did he say? Oh crap, let me forget it right now. Like, I'm a turtle, but I choose to be identified as a tortoise. Just some ridiculousness about how you choose to be identified now. So like, I don't know what you call people. I'm male, female. That's as far as I go with it. But I know that people identify in different ways. So I'm going to be respectful. Anyway, I'm going to let y'all go. Peace out. I love you. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for support. Keep watching. Do check out freeislandgirl.com. It's coming. It's in development. So don't go, I don't see anything different on there yet. I told you it's coming. I love you. Be patient. Mwah. Good night. Check you later. Bye.